start. Not the new voice assist. Toilet, before we begin, I want to give a special mention to the gay rights that was Switzerland at Eurovision. I think the gays are really coming into their own this year, and I'm really proud to see it. You don't watch Eurovision because you are traumatized, shall we say?
Heathen, some may call it.
Heathen, yes. So, Toyota, for anyone who doesn't know, where are you based and who is Toyota?
I'm based in Limerick City, as anyone from Ireland knows. That's in the southwest. And what am I? Kind of one that sits pretty in the corner, but the best description I ever heard was, you're kind of like a vintage slutty, but not pinup, was one of the best descriptions I've ever heard.
Vintage slutty, but not pinup.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've also heard that you are the drag persona of Blind Boy Book Club, so I like to see that duality, that like two tones. Anyway,
she's versatile.
Verse, yes, verse and on prep. So, getting into the episode, there was no actual real drama before the mini challenge started. It was basically based around the girls couldn't believe that Art Simone was gone, and it basically like reset the pecking order.
Yeah, no, like it probably made some of them absolutely scared shitless. Like it means nothing was one of the most iconic lines too.
It's iconic, but also like, did the girls really think that like, just because she was there was going to be like her crown to win? Was a very like defeating aspect from them.
Yeah, it wasn't very like, if you're going to go into the competition, you should be at the very least a bit delusional just to be like, I'm going to win. I'm going to be here at the very end.
Basically, yeah. So then when we get into the mini challenge, it's more or less a Baywatch challenge. It's like a slow motion run in quick drag. I thought it was quite fun. I don't like them, but this one was quite fun. The girls seem to like play with it.
Yeah, no, I actually quite like this. It was quite different to the usual one, but that's just not like, usually it's just screaming or just quick drag and doing something completely random, like a maypole. That was an odd one. Or like
that was
a limbo.
Terrible one. Oh my god. So from that then, Scarlett and Electra win, and the age-old trope of the winners of the mini challenge become the team captains. So then it ends up being maxi challenge of girl groups, more or less, called, or for RuPaul's song Queens Down Under, because RuPaul likes to sell their own shite. So Team Scarlett is herself, etc., Coco Jumbo and Anita. And then Electra's team is herself, Carmen Finance, Kita, and Maxi. Out of the people in Down Under, who would you lean towards if you had to do like a girl group challenge?
I think I'd go for Anita Wiglet first, probably, because she has the comedy and she had pretty successful first, and then probably Electra and Ketamine, because I know that Ketamine and Anita work together already, so they'd have a good vibe, and Electra can dance, as you saw from lip sync.
And she also works with Kita and Anita.
Oh, an entire working family, it works.
They basically brought the drag bar to RuPaul, not the other way around. If I were to do it, I probably would go Scarlett, etc., and then either Electra or Karen from Finance, just because with girl groups, I think it works in your favor to be sexy. Like obviously there was problems with the way the teams turned out, but we'll get to that as we get down the list, basically. So anyway, the girls get into it in the workroom. Electra's team did something funny, like they pretended to have an argument, and when I was watching it happen, I was like, oh, why didn't they record like the pre to this? Like what happened in the lead up to this?
Yeah.
But then when they were taking the piss and joking, it actually surprised me. That's the first time I've been surprised with Drag Race in a long time.
Yeah, no, it's like complete chaos and then being like, it's just a joke, like.
Yeah, because I'm far more used to like the drama being documented, being like, oh, here's the next drama. I didn't expect it to be like playful, let's play a joke on them.
1 point to production right there, like.
Yeah.
Because production's usually like, this is the drama, this is how it's gonna go, this is the conclusion of it, go.
Yeah. And then after that, the only real thing that happened was they got to meet Troye Sivan and Leland, who was like a music producer. I'm sick of these pre-recorded Zoom meetings or YouTube videos. I'm sick of them.
Yeah, like it was cool with Kylie Minogue, but I forgot Troye Sivan existed for a minute there, and then I was like, oh yeah.
Like, I'm not the bastion of twinks, so like I don't really care for Troye Sivan. But like, are they going to do a whole season of just that? That's basically a meet and greet. That's a cameo. They paid him $80.
Also, wouldn't you think this would be the time to get Kylie Minogue in instead of the Snatch Game? Like,
Yeah,
well-known Australian musician that
Down Under is turning out to be a very interesting series that still hasn't found its feet, I don't think. But anyways, after that, Electra has like trauma, but we get no foreplay for it. Literally landed straight into the trauma. She went through poverty and homelessness, and she says that's the reason why her drag is basic. Toda, please weigh in on this for me before I start.
Well, I was like, okay, so this is the the trauma story for this episode, because I was like, there is usually at least one. I was just there like, wow, it's so early. I expected on the main stage or something like that. If you get me, it's usually just like your drag is basic, and then all of a sudden tears. So I was like, oh, unprovoked, all of a sudden trauma, and I was like, surprise again.
Well, like, you know me, I do love trauma on show. I love trauma. If you're going to have trauma, make it make sense. Like, you can't, like, yes, I feel sorry for with like her poverty and her homelessness that I wish I could fix in her past. But don't say it's why your drag is basic. AliExpress is not that expensive and it's actually closer to her than it is to us.
Right here.
Like, get some fabric. Like, if you're going on Drag Race, do what you can. Like, this is more taste level than a money thing. Like, there's queens who don't have a lot of money and make it work.
Like Monique Harsh, she came in with a sewing machine and a dream, and she got like halfway through the season. Like,
so like that excuse for why her drag is basic, I was like, and also don't call your own drag basic. Like, even if they say it's basic, lie. Be like, my drag is stunning.
Delusion gets you halfway through this show. It's reality TV, like, so like delusion. So
when I heard that, I was like, sorry about you, hon. Like, I'm sorry that happened, but don't be blaming that on your drag taste level, basically. So then they kind of get into the rehearsal spaces, which was, it kind of boiled down to too many cooks in the kitchen on one team and one cook and customers in another.
Yeah, no, it was a bit much at times. I was like, okay, that one's speaking. Oh, now that one's going. Oh, now, what, who is the leader of this team and what is going on? And then,
like, I've been in them situations where everyone wants to weigh in. I think what they should have just done was like, who's the leader? And either everyone else backs off from that, or it becomes a case of, right, you choreograph this A count, I choreograph that A count, and then just like trust the other person. This was messy. And then when we got into Electra's team, it seemed to be very in control. XYZ 1 2 3, it was every move was hit. Which was very much so producer edit, knowing what we know about the episode. But when they come back, Karen says that this is Electra's week to win and she'd like to see her win the challenge. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first time we've seen another competitor wish a win for someone else? I find that very weird.
Yeah, no, because I'm sorry if it sounds petty or something, but I'd be like, I want to win this. Like, it's all a matter of, again, it's reality TV in a competition. The most screen time you get is the more diluted you're going to be and the higher chance you're going to win.
Like, even if Electra deserves it, it was quite odd to like not wish that you'd win it. I just thought it was interesting in the Drag Race franchise. I think was the first time it actually happened. Um, so then, anyways, they're getting ready for the main runway, and apparently there was a note left in Coco Station saying "Watch out."
Now that was a good one. I actually quite all I could imagine is just being like, oh yeah, it was Art Simone, but I was like, what if production just came in and was like, you know what, it'd be funny, like
Just drop them. It was
they're
like
just there to
watch.
etc. Just like come get some glitter off Coco, go on, do it.
Yeah,
Area.
even that was produced. Obviously, now knowing next week someone potentially coming back, production really could have planted a seed of if Art Simone's coming back, like watch out because Art Simone is coming back.
Hmm.
But like watching it before you knew someone was coming back was a bit what? Is this an actual physical threat? Like, will she be found after the show wraps up?
Yeah, no, like it just seems a bit like, after that means nothing. It just looks really bitter then because of
Yeah.
what the other things we knew at that time.
Like, I think as drag queens, we realize that drag race does not reward good drag, it rewards a good reality competitor.
Hmm.
So even though Art Simone had like a massive reputation going in, we now know that means nothing because if you don't perform well in the challenge and don't do a good lip sync, you're gone. Um, but that
Oh
means
yeah, no, like
that means
it's
nothing.
like and also they'll throw absolute curveballs at you that you're like, oh yeah, I did all right this week. Oh no, I'm home.
Yeah. So we get on to the main stage. Now, how do you feel about RuPaul's gowns? Like, do you live for the moment?
It depends on the gown. Like I like the one this episode, but a few of them I was like, okay, that's a bit. For some reason, the first one that springs to mind was you remember that weird neon one? I think it was like season 5 or 6. That was a weird neon one with like RuPaul with an afro naked on it. I thought that was just strange.
Yeah,
like, but like most of the time, I'm like, good job. But then sometimes the proportions are slightly off, or like it just does not look the best.
yeah.
But
Like, I live for RuPaul in the UK series because she always wears like a short dress while her legs are out, which I live
mm,
for. But gowns I don't particularly care for. It's always going to be a sparkly gown and like white
yeah,
blanc. So I mean,
there's only so much you can do with a gown.
yeah, like this one was nice. I just never really cared for the moment of RuPaul coming out in the gown, basically. And announces that the main stage is Bogan Prom Realness. Now, do you know what Bogan means?
I found out after the episode because I was like, okay, I can assume what it is, but I was like, what is this? Like,
Yeah,
I was like,
I think the way because I watched Trixie Mattel and Iggy Azalea their video, and a bogan is basically kind of like a hillbilly, kind of like
hmm,
white trash. I suppose white
yeah,
trash is the way you do it. So once that clicked, it made sense. But like, did I mishear this? Because it said Bogan Prom Realness the first time, but then it somehow became an 80s Bogan Prom. Or did I?
yeah, no, like it was like outtakes of it kept on reminding me like Anita Wiglet specifically reminded me of have you watched the film Never Been Kissed or something? I think it's that it has Drew Barrymore in it. There's like a prom scene in it, and it literally that's what it reminded me of exactly. And I was like, okay, it's a bit
Yeah,
strange, but okay.
it was a weird challenge to get, but I suppose they may do what they had. So
Mm,
before that happens, the girl groups perform. So first is the Outback Fake Holes,
mm.
which is I just realized the play on Outback Steakhouse.
Oh,
That just clicked in my head.
I was today years old when I figured that.
Yeah, where were
I
you?
didn't even figure it out.
So they come out, Scarlett beat into the ground face wise.
Mm.
She knows her face. And then one of the other things that stood out for me was the line non-binary finery from down under.
Oh yeah, no, like they were. I thought that team was pretty solid. Like my instant thought when I saw Scarlett though, when she did, that jump split thing that she did.
Yeah,
My instant thought it was, oh my god, if she just kicked etc. and Coco in the face was my instant thought. I was like, that
yeah,
was so close.
yeah. So they were kind of like the high points and the low points then for me, because I know that was your low point, the outfits weren't even remotely cohesive. There's nothing that bound them together, and Coco really, really struggled
Mm.
in it. So that was them. I think Scarlett was the clear top, but by like a hair, just because she looks stunning. And then the following group was 3.5 Men. Outfits were good, but they still weren't cohesive.
Yeah, no, I had no idea what connected them.
Yeah, nothing. Literally nothing. Like, give them fabric to work with, but literally not even a fucking drop. I wrote that Electra really fucking worked. Like, she really did her thing. And I said that Maxi was the least successful, but that's not bad. It's more so because everyone else was phenomenal and she didn't like hit that, but there was a lot more synergy in that group. But what did you think of 3.5 Men?
I thought they did good. Like the standouts for me was Electra and Ketamine, because like I thought they really killed it. I thought Karen was a bit like flat, but like I think it was again in comparison to Ketamine and Electra, who were so high energy, and then Maxi kind of she was on the ground, but like she did well for what she like from the rehearsal. She pulled it off quite well.
Yeah.
Is what I thought.
Now, I just so we can like judge it whilst we're here, the judging panel on these groups really flipped me because production made it seem like 3.5 Men were going to be like this wow factor and the Outback Fakos struggled. But when they came after Electra, I don't necessarily agree with them coming for Electra because it's her job to perform and outperform. So why is she being penalized for doing a good job? Because if we're really going to go there, the other people should have stepped up and been like, we want a moment too.
Also, the kind of thing, it was judged individually. So of course, if it's judged individually in the group, you're going to try and stand out in the group.
Yeah.
Like you're going to specifically be like, this is my moment now, and you have to follow.
I just thought after that, I was like, the producers have it out for this girl because like she did what she was supposed to do as a competitor and they still penalized her. So I thought wild. So anyways, on to the probably the best part of the episode, the looks, because there's not much else to go on. Etc. comes out in like a juicy couture pink tracksuit, but I just thought that was Jeffree Star.
I've seen that girl walk down O'Connell Street. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, okay.
Like it was a good idea. I just could not see past that. I was like, that's Jeffree Star. I was like, that's exactly what Star wears. Was it a good idea? Yes. Did it wow me? No.
And a flash.
And a flat. I don't personally mind flats if it works, but this
No.
whole thing didn't really get me. Following up, etc., was Coco Jumbo. She came out in this like purple 80s party dress. But I just would like the leaves and the hair simulate that she was like getting the ride in the bushes. But the fabric and the way it was constructed just felt cheap. I'm not saying like just because the fabric is cheap, it makes it bad, because some people can turn trash into treasure. But this would look it just looked cheap. What did you think?
Also, it felt like the leaves were a bit of an afterthought. I thought like there wasn't enough of them. I felt like if I was going to go out, I'd have the entire bush still stuck to my leg, like entirely, like
just like
more.
This looked like she walked into Wallace or Monsoon, picked up an old bridesmaid's dress, and was like, "How do I make this drag?" And just picked up leaves and like Bogan prom realness. So
like she was beautiful, but like it just wasn't that much.
Beauty will only get you so far, and I think her and her track record in Drag Race has been that she's a stunning queen, but her taste level isn't there. Maybe it's just Australia has different tastes, because I don't think I've liked a lot of Australia so far, but that's just could be a taste difference.
Yeah, no. It's okay.
It's okay, yeah. So then following Coco was Anita. She came out in like this 80s pony with a blue and white straight dress.
The cigarette earrings were cute, but like it was again another little afterthought. Just like, what accessories do I have that could work for this theme? Cigarette earrings and this dress
Yeah,
that has no shape to it.
like it's almost like because Anita was in the 80s, she bought this dress to be like a secret drag queen back then and kept it all these years. I,
Yeah,
yeah, no, it was like no, just a flat out no. So following Anita was Scarlett Adams, like a tinfoil dress, which I kind of lived for, and her waist was like really low. Her waist
I thought that too. I was really
was,
confused by her body shape.
yeah.
Like,
I was like, I get the idea, but surely I just find it very weird how low that was.
yeah, no, like it's just not where it usually goes. Like, you either choose like a lower waistline and then the skirt goes out or not. It was a weird mixture in the dress, I
Yeah.
felt.
Although the menthol necklace was inspired, R.I.P. to menthols, R.I.P.
Do not. I miss them so.
Yeah. Marlboro Ice Blast, shout out.
Oh,
Yeah. So
they live on in my heart
so
and in my
look,
lungs.
tinfoil dress is basically what it boils down to. So after Scarlett is Electra. It was basically Kesha from the TikTok video put on Drag Race, in my opinion.
My first thought was it's kind of like Scarlet's, except a bit less, if you get what I mean. It
Yeah.
was like similar, like a metallic color, and then like throw a ton of accessories and the kind of mullet style. I was like, this is very similar, but just it's kind of like like the night of the Madonnas when there was two different ones, and then they were like, okay, this one was good, this one was kind of good, but like in comparison to the other one, it
Yeah.
doesn't live up.
That must be her trauma. Oops. Following Electra was Kita. She came out in a gold dress with like, it was like a, not a gold dress, it was like a neon lime rocker punk inspired. This was one of the tops of the nights in terms of the runway. I thought it was clever, it was well put together. I do love a neon color.
Yeah, no, I love a good neon.
What do you think of Kita?
I liked it. I thought it's a good way to stand out, especially when you're going to choose a bold color like that. You kind of have to stand out and be a bit different if you're going to be that neon. Just
Yeah,
like they're gonna look at you anyway, so like might as well take a different spin on it.
yeah. It was quite nice. And then following Kita was Maxi Shield in like gold spandex with a floral jacket, like almost like a cougar who rides her pool boy.
Yeah, it's very like Desperate Housewives moment, but
Yeah.
like
So
bogan.
yeah, I thought she was very clever in like coming from like what do you call them? The parents who go to look after
uh, what's it called?
chaperone.
It's not a chauffeur, a chaperone. I thought chauffeur, and I was like, no, 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 that's not it. That's a
It was
car.
very smart to go as a chaperone and have such like a fun concept because she got to leave this kind of like 80s party dress thing and be like her own thing. And I thought it was smart of her to like weave a story rather than just
Oh
go
yeah, no,
straight concept.
it was. I quite liked it. I thought it was done quite well. I just thought it wasn't like basic or anything. It was just a very interesting idea and very well portrayed story in it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
See, this is what I mean
okay,
between like Electra and Maxi. Electra or Maxi's didn't cost a lot of money. We know this. It's just a gold pair of leggings with a floral jacket and a fanny pack. So that can't have cost a bomb. So I don't think Electra can use the excuse that that's why her drag is basic because if she's working now, we can assume she can afford an outfit every now and again. And if you're on a drag race, splash out a little bit. So this is why I think the excuse of her trauma doesn't exactly work because Maxi did this with not a lot really because it wasn't a lot.
yeah, no,
Yeah. So then last but not least, Karen from Finance comes out in this like ruffled jumpsuit in an 80s print, which I liked.
Mm.
Did you?
I did. I just thought it could work with a lot of like it wasn't like the tiara is the thing that set me off to the theme, but I felt like it could work in so many different themes. I was like, it's just not as pinpointed. But it doesn't mean it was bad. I did like it, and I did think it was a good for the runway. I just thought it needed a bit more like, aha, it's that. If you get what I mean,
Yeah.
like it's that.
Yeah, it's just like even across the episode so far, Australia doesn't seem to be pulling out anything major in terms of being a Drag Race franchise. I think being stuck between season 13 and UK Series 2, and we know after this is going to be All Star 6, I think it might get lost. It might do
Yeah,
well,
no.
yeah, but it might get lost globally, which is a shame. But we have to see for the whole series to wrap up to see how it turns out.
It's kind of really reminded me of Canada. I don't like just the way the challenges are going and things like that. It really reminds me of Canada, which kind of gets lost in translation for the 2 seasons that was in between too.
Yeah, I personally liked Canada, but I'd still put
I
Australia
did.
as like bottom of the rung, unfortunately.
Mm.
So question to you: if you were to do like a Bogan prom moment, you can make it an Irish context. What would you do for a Bogan prom?
In Irish context. Oh, well, I kind of just let's see. I'm trying to think of it now. I've been to 3 Debses. I should know what it's like. Just complete. I go complete mess way though, like complete like I'd be mahogany probably, like not like dark mahogany. We both know the mahogany color
Oh,
that
fake
some fake
tan,
tans are.
yeah. But you'd have to have
Like
like splotchy patches at the back of your knee and your elbow, like all the way up your neck, so your foundation doesn't match your neck.
eyelash on the cheek, tears out of the
Completely.
foundation, and
Completely.
like tan, all of it, and
Yeah.
just like the dress like tied in a knot at the top here, even though it had 2 slits, you just tie it like a little gong.
Yeah.
That motion was more inappropriate than I thought it would be, but meh.
If I were to do it, this might be a reach now for like a prom or we call it grad in Sligo. But I'm thinking like those young ones who walk around in like North Face jackets, hair up in a pony, always on the phone talking shite, and they're like 16, 17. I would try and get like a fake North Face dress made and walk around like fake like Air Max, smoking a fag, giving out to her boyfriend on the phone.
The giant slugs of eyebrows, because like that that'd be great.
Like big fluffy eyebrows, and then those disgusting fluffy lashes that go like that.
Oh yeah.
But
The
like
kind of they want them to be mink, but they're not.
they're like 2 inches off the face, and like you want to basically flutter away. And like really like the makeup you're describing, like really do it badly,
Mm.
like all the wrong colors, and really play on that like the young one around town who doesn't know how to like do that type of look. I think it'd be quite
But
fun.
she thinks she is all that.
But for that night, she's the only woman to ever exist.
Oh yeah, no, it's like she enters the room and she's like, I am here and
Yeah,
you can see me from across the room.
she's getting a man that night from hell or high water. If they work with her or that's her classmate, doesn't matter. She's getting a man. So after all the judges' critiques, it ends up being that Scarlett Adams wins with the bottom two being Coco and Electra. Please weigh in, Tola.
um See, I thought I didn't actually expect. See, I was very critical of Karen for some reason when I was watching the episode. I was just there like, okay, she's safe. And I was like, questionable, but okay. I was like, um, Coco, I was like, okay, that it's fair enough. Like, I didn't think she did bad. I just think, again, in comparison to her team did quite well for
Yeah,
like what production showed of them. So it was kind of the weak link in it. But I also found it strange that they chose two from 2 different teams, like one from 2 different teams, even though like when they did the girls group in UK, the entire team was safe, if you get what I mean.
yeah.
That I found that a bit and Electra I did not agree with really. Like the look was kind of, but it was better than some that I thought were on the stage. And then like she completely like, if it's judged by an individual, she stole the show for the team, which apparently is a bad thing, but
Yeah,
I don't think it was exactly a bad thing.
this is what I don't understand. Like production really have it out for
Mhm.
Electra. Is this her third week in the bottom?
Uh, yeah, because she was in last. They liked her snatch game, but she was
No,
basic. They
it
said she was
was
basic, and they didn't understand the first week.
yeah, but I think it was Coco and Art Simone last week, but she was the first week, so this is her second lip sync
Mm,
of the episodes. But
mm,
like she did well, so why is she in the bottom? Like even if her outfit was bad, she still deserved to be safe. Like it's not her
mhm.
fault that she's shown. I don't think she did it maliciously to be like, look at me. I just think she did what she knew best. But I don't agree with Electra being anywhere near the bottom. I don't think that
Yeah,
was
no, I thought she was going to be a top when she wasn't being called, like when she wasn't said to be safe. I was like, oh,
yeah.
right.
Like I can if it was Coco and Maxi, I can be like, okay, that makes sense because Maxi's on the
Mm,
floor for the majority and they didn't really respond to it. But Electra?
yeah, like, and also she was good in rehearsal. Her look was okay, and also she killed the song. So I was like, why is she there? And then also like being kind of like brought like judged really critically because you were too good is not a kind of logical,
Yeah,
like it adds drama, but
just malicious.
then's the time to say about homelessness. Now is the time, Electra.
Call it out. Yeah, yeah. So basically, the song they end up listening to is Peaches and Herb "Shake Your Groove" thing. I'm sick of these songs. I'm sick of them.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay, that's a choice. I was like, and the like, it's just they don't feel like are they all from Australia songs? I don't remember. I don't remember who sings it. But
Yeah,
like it's also they're all the same kind of vibe, while in UK like they were all English artists, but they were kind of every different thing. While I feel like the last 3 weeks were kind of the same thing. What was
yeah.
last week? I'm that bitch.
They're like
Except I'm that bitch.
yeah, but they're like either 70s or 80s songs that no one really recalls, or it's RuPaul's own repertoire. But like Australia has far much more. Like even if you can't get Kylie Minogue, get Danny Minogue. Like
Mm,
Courtney Act must have some songs out. She's Australian.
yeah,
Troye Sivan is Australian, isn't he?
yeah.
It would
I
make
think
sense.
that's why he was there. I think. Also, why have him on the episode if you're not going to do one of his songs? Like, at
Literally,
least give
that's
him
what I
some.
mean. And like, even if you want to make it extra gay, Eurovision,
It's just around the corner.
like
Like at the time of leaving it.
they would have known in advance because this I'd say Montaigne Technicolor has been out while it was filming. So to really
Mm,
push that like queer culture aspect of Eurovision, they could have just done a Eurovision song. And it can't have been that
mm,
much because they're not exactly big stars if they're on Eurovision. Like they're climbing the ranks of stardom, but might not be
mm.
big stars. I'm just sick of these songs, girl. I'm just sick of them.
Yeah.
Um so anyways, during the lip sync, Electra basically was winning it hands down. She was using the performance space
Mm,
very well, and I found Coco to be very one note. It was very stand in the center, walk, 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 point,
mm.
do a little jig.
It was very I'm that bitch week. It was kind of similar to the week before. Also, my earring just fell out of my ear while I was nodding.
Drag excellence.
Oh, it's stuck in my hair. It's staying there.
Yeah. I don't even have earrings on because I'm professional. Um, but yeah, did you agree that Electra was safe?
Yeah, no, I did. Sorry, my voice was cracking for a split second there because I am becoming a woman.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I thought Electra, she really like, she was like, well, if they say I stole the show before, might as well do it again.
Yeah.
It's
Like she's
time.
on her last legs now. I think if she goes into the bottom again, she can't escape no matter how well she does. I think once you lip sync 3 times, I think that's like your curtain call. Obviously now we know someone's coming back, but based off who is left, who do you want to win at this moment in time?
At this moment in time. I quite like. See, I like each one of them, but the one that kind of I feel like is gonna get the underdog story is etc. I feel like she can pull it.
Yeah. I think given the right production arc, I think etc. could really climb the ranks. At the moment, I'm personally loving Karen from Finance because she seems unshakable in what she's doing, like she knows who she is as a person. But then again, I don't particularly care who wins because they're not exactly enveloped in the season so far.
Yeah, no.
It's not great. But anyways, Toyota, tell the people where they can find you.
So I only have Instagram, so it's Toyota_Harlot. Other than that, I bop around Twitch streams sometimes, but other than that, you won't see me really anywhere. Sometimes Reddit. Who knows?
Who knows? You're leaking Drag Race secrets. That's what you're doing.
Oh yeah, no, that
You're posting
you
news.
have to sleep with a producer and then you get the inside tea.
Yeah, of course. Toda, it was lovely to actually meet you rather than through a chat box, which has been great. But
oh yeah. There was no continuation to that sentence.
But thank you so much. It was great chatting to you, and I'm sure I will chat to you soon again.
Yeah. Whenever you next stream, I'm always there.
Bye-bye.
Bye.